Sabha and Rajya Sabha. Meanwhile, joining us live is Karnataka Health Minister Dinesh Gundu Rao. Welcome to the telecast, Dinesh Gundu Rao. In terms of the budget, what are your expectations from the budget?
Basically, I think for economic growth, there needs to be more inclusive policies which help not only formal sector but informal sector also. And we are seeing that the growth in the economy is falling, it's coming down, and people who are in the middle section and the medium sector, small sector, they are also getting affected. They are not getting the benefits of any good economic growth, and informal sector also is suffering. So I think that is something that government has to rework and see how these sectors can be encouraged. And what is happening now is benefits of the economy is going for the rich and the super rich. They are the real beneficiaries today, and the other sections are all stagnating or they are going down. So that is, growth should pick up, and with inclusive growth. So that is growth across all sectors, especially the informal sector. Then employment generation naturally will increase if you focus on this, because unemployment is high, skilled people are not getting employment. So that is something that they need to focus. So growth along with job creation. Then of course I think priority for education and health, because the percentage of GDP allocation for this has stagnating and there is no increase. So now I think at least 6% should be reserved for these sectors out of the total GDP, and more money should be given to states, not with the programs made by Government of India, but funds should be given so that each state has got its own priorities. Each state has got different health issues, because northern states have got different priorities, southern states have different priorities, because we are much more advanced in terms of health infrastructure and health indices. So they should give more freedom to states to evolve their own programs within the the framework, and increase the allocation of funds, not just for construction of infrastructure, but to see that for the programs, that is important. And of course I think we want equitable distribution of central resources. What we are seeing is that especially southern states are facing deficiency in fund allocation, and it's also maybe in some ways political also, because we are all opposition ruled states and there seems to be discrimination here. So that should be, no one should be made to feel that they are discriminated. So we are not saying give us more share, we are only saying give us equal share. So there should not be injustice. Yeah, so deserved share should be there. And last year's budget also we saw Government of India announced certain schemes for Karnataka in the budget, but they didn't release funds, they didn't approve those works. So what is the point of making grand announcements when not seeing that those are sanctioned? We had for our irrigation projects, Bhadra Meldande project, or that has not been no funds were released. For Bangalore city, they had promised a lot of funds, they didn't release it. And so these things, sanctity of the budget goes down if budget announcements are made and publicity is taken and not implemented. So we are hopeful. I don't know what they will do, but because Government of India approach doesn't seem to be having a balanced approach, and they seem to think that everything is top down. They will decide, and whatever they do, it has to be followed. But I don't think that is going to work. We are ultimately a union of states, and we are hoping that this time at least Karnataka will not be denied its due share. We need more funds for our metropolitan cities, especially Bengaluru. We need more funds for health and education sectors, and of course we are a technology hub. So we need assistance in terms of improving our industrial areas. So I think this is what broadly I am looking at, but let us see the nitty-gritties and then we will see.
All right. Do you think government should provide income tax relief, and what should it be?
See, income tax is a very small segment of people pay income tax. So I don't think income tax relief is a big issue. I think they can, but corporate tax has been reduced. There is no need to have reduced corporate tax, especially for big corporates. Why should they get reduction in cost? So there should be increased corporate taxes for companies which are more than having big turnovers, maybe above 500 crores, 1000 crores. Have a higher corporate tax for them and rationalized GST. Today GST is hitting every person. So you are on one side, tax which is there for everybody, that has increased, and tax for the rich corporates, that you have decreased. So increase the tax on the rich, increase corporate tax and rationalize GST, because that is something which is again also affecting the common man. So this complicated GST has made small business people, really for them the cost of doing business has gone up. Ease of doing business has become more difficult. This government spoke about less government, and I think maximum governance and minimum government. But it has become maximum government, minimum governance. It's become the opposite. It's so difficult for small companies, the rules, regulations, and then you have harassment. All these companies, ED, IT, all of them are harassing people. So make the system better. I think that is what is needed, more efficient.
All right, and in terms of what should the government do to control inflation?
Inflation, I am not an expert. I can't really say what exactly they should do, because that I think, but inflation targeting which is there by Reserve Bank of India, that should not be compromised. Now there's been pressure and ministers are talking in the government today saying that we should not have this inflation targeting by Reserve Bank. So by weakening the Reserve Bank, you're going to create a worse situation. Reserve Bank's primary role is to control inflation. So that is, you have to tighten the liquidity and ensure that prices and unnecessary expenditure is not made in the wrong places. So that is something that Reserve Bank of India should not be compromised. Now if you look at the statements, they are trying to compromise this basic important function of the Reserve Bank. So inflation targeting should be maintained, and Reserve Bank should stick to its inflation target. They should not allow it to go beyond. I think they have a certain mandate that it should not go beyond this. So that is what they should do.
Congress in Karnataka has admitted strain on the exchequer due to its guarantees. Do you think that the government should focus on reforms and less on freebies?
See, we have seen our guarantee schemes are reaching the people, and it has reached each and every common man, and they have benefited by it. One, in terms of direct transfer of money with zero corruption, and direct benefit like free transportation, where women are today getting more empowered. So they are contributing more. So I would, on one hand, yes, there is a need to see that to make our guarantee schemes more effective in terms of delivery. But otherwise our guarantee schemes are very good. It's a good safety net. It has removed poverty. It has given each and every family strength today. The only thing we need to see is that ensure that the undeserving don't get it. So that is one thing. Of course it is a strain. Every expenditure is a strain on any exchequer. But I think there are so many ways to make our governments more efficient. And I think that is what we are doing. Making our departments more efficient, making our expenditures more efficient, and also trying to see how we can monetize on our assets and how we can generate more resources. So when we have a situation like this, the governments, we are working towards improving the efficiency and to mop up resources, tighten the system. So that is what we are doing, and I think ultimately that helps in improving governance. So I think our guarantees are here to stay. No, there's no way that guarantees will be removed, but we're going to only thing is we're going to look at is to make it more effective with less leakages in it. There's no leakage, but like undeserved people are getting, so they should not get it. That's the only part. I think otherwise it's going to be, see, in a way, in one swoop, nowhere in the country, but in Karnataka we have done it today, that we have in fact in a way we have removed poverty, because people are getting a guaranteed monthly income, they're getting free power, they're able to move around freely, and they're getting all these through their accounts apart from other schemes. So it is a poverty removal scheme in a way.
All right, Dinesh Rao, thank you so much for joining us on the telecast. Moving on, we have another guest joining us on the telecast is Dr. W.